Well, they're different situations. Let me say with Social Security first. That's a sacred contract that we've made with seniors. They paid into that for their whole lifetime. Many of them made plans that this was something that they were going to retire on. And the out-of-control spending that's going on up in Washington, D.C. really is threatening Social Security. We need people who once again are committed to making sure that that is solidly funded and that it's a priority there. Pensions, switching hats, I believe our pension system here in Illinois, we took some baby steps this year to clean up our pension system. We need to do so much more there of addressing. We can no longer underfund pensions forever. You know, steal money really away from our pension systems, and we saw it with teachers especially. That happened a couple of years ago, where they didn't fund it. They basically put another IOU in there and used that money for new programs. That's absolutely the worst thing you could do, the least responsible thing you could do. And as more money has come in, we saw it, you know, even with the federal government, where rather than paying down any debt or shoring up these programs that we've made a commitment to our seniors on, they are putting it into new spending. That's going to cost us hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars going into the future. And that needs to stop, and we can do it. So we just need, again, responsible leaders who are committed to the contracts, the oaths that we have made to those people who have served us so well, our seniors especially, making sure that they're confident in knowing that Social Security is going to be there. And I want to see that happen.
Okay, next question has to do with tort reform. What is your position on it?
I support it. 100%. I'm a lawyer, but I don't practice law right now, as you know. Practice work in investments. But I think it's very important. There is absolutely lawsuit abuse. There are areas we saw here in Illinois where Cook County, St. Clair County, and Madison County, runaway lawsuit abuse in those areas was driving up the cost for the rest of the state. We pay a price for that. We need to address that. Healthcare is significant in the cost of healthcare. We can do that again, but we need leaders who are willing to get in there and fight some of the powerful trial lawyers. They don't want to see that happen, but it's the right thing to do. We can do it in a fair way. Other states have done it in a fair way that's been approved by their Supreme Courts. We can do it here in Illinois as well. I'm going to look to other states that have dramatically cut their cost of healthcare by having some real lawsuit abuse reform. We need to do that here in Illinois, and I'd like to see it out in the federal government as well. What frustrated me so much wasn't even done in the healthcare bill, but there were some provisions in there that said we're not going to do this. I believe it was in the Pelosi version that said we are not going to do any tort reform. So it's like this assurance to the trial lawyers that that would be a part of this. I just disagree with that. We need real lawsuit abuse reform.
Okay. Campaign finance reform, something else that's been discussed both at the federal and the state level. People are concerned about the ridiculous amount of money that people are spending on campaigns. What are your thoughts on that, and is public financing of campaigns the solution?
Well, I still think the best solution is full disclosure, knowing exactly, and real-time disclosure of who's making contributions to campaigns, so that can affect who is, if you're going to support someone or not. You can look and see who is helping them pay for that. The current system that we have really does help or assist someone who has significant resources themselves. It's challenging for someone who can't self-finance their campaign, but that's okay. I think that's a good process to go through. We're gaining the vast majority of our supporters are from right here in the 14th Congressional District. And I think that's important to look and see who is supporting us. Many times that's a $10 check or a $15 check, but it's someone who is coming alongside of us and really investing in the work that we're doing. That's encouraging to me. I don't think we need to continue to work on campaign finance. There's still so much that can happen, you know, with some of the 527s, I think it is. I forget the numbers, I think it's 527. But, you know, these kind of hidden expenditures that are happening out there that don't serve us well. So the more that we can open that process up, have full disclosure, encourage everybody to be able to run for office, that's where we get the best leaders, is when everybody has that ability to be able to serve or to run, and the possibility of serving and running. So I'd like to continue to reform that process, but make sure that it's a transparent process, so people know who is involved in funding all campaigns.
There's talk of a federal bailout program for the states. Your service as a state senator, you recognize the issues we have here in Illinois. If you're elected to Congress, is that federal bailout state something that you would support or oppose?
I wouldn't. You know, I see so many people, like I think many of you, who have been playing by the rules, you know, working hard, taking care of your families, paying your taxes, being involved in your community, and now someone else who is taking risks or hasn't budgeted, hasn't made good decisions, you're getting set the bill for that. I don't think that's right. And I see it on the state level as well. You know, I'm going to fight for my district and fight for our state, but there's something to where you're enabling bad decisions as well, and we need to be accountable as state government for the money that we're spending and the decisions that we make. Government has grown so significantly in the last 8 years here in Illinois. Revenue, most people don't realize this, but 2007, we had the highest level of revenue. Actually, 2010 was the second highest level of revenue that we've ever had as a state, just below 2007. So, you know, we talk about all these horrible situations that we're in. The reason we're in those situations is because of the increased spending that the government continues to do, and their unwillingness to tighten their own belts. So I think good budgeting on the state level, and absolutely good budgeting on the federal level, is a must. We didn't get that this year from our leadership. We didn't get it from our congressmen of fighting for a budget out there this year that we can really hold them accountable to. It seems so common sense, coming back to that word, but to me it seems that way, and we need to make sure that that happens. And bailouts for someone's mismanagement that the rest of us paid for, I think is the wrong way to go.
The final question has to do with a local issue here in St. Charles. For many years, the city has been planning to build a new bridge at Red Gate Road to cross the Fox River and hopefully eliminate some of the traffic congestion that we have downtown. To this point, Congressman Foster has not supported that project or not helped us with the federal funding that we think we need to help make that project a reality. Are you familiar with that project, and what is your position on it?
That's a great question. I am somewhat familiar with it. I've talked with the mayor. I've also talked to opponents of that. I know there's people in Wayne that are opposed to that. You know, we need to address transportation needs. I want local communities to make good local decisions. I want to come alongside them and help them be able to do that. I don't want to stand in the way of that. I don't have all the information, quite honestly, to come out and say one way or the other of how I feel on that. But what my commitment is, and I hope the mayor would echo this, that I want to hear from you. I want to know what's important to you as residents of St. Charles. Just like I want to hear from the people up in Wayne and their concerns of this. I want to hear from them. I want to know how we can do that, and that's an ongoing process that I'm going to continue understanding what my role should be on that. Right now, I'm not ready to take a stand openly on that, other than my commitment is to continue to learn, to hear, to be open to what's best for the district, the 14th congressional district.
Great, it's 1:30.
In closing, thank you so much. Thanks for your patience. Great questions. And just wrapping up, whatever you do, vote this year, and get other people to vote. I know you all have done that before, but I ask you to take one more step and get more involved this year. Help someone. I'm not saying who you should help, but help somebody. It's that important this year. So thank you for all you're doing. Thank you, business owners, job creators. Let's keep it going. Let's make sure, again, our brightest days are ahead of us. God bless you all.